So, why is it that women and girls apologize so much? What I'm talking about is how during our normal day, we will say, I'm sorry, several times in different situations. I think we have grown so accustomed to saying, I'm sorry, that we don't even think about the words and what they mean when we say them. I recently had an experience where I was in public, and I've had a lot of these, but this one just struck me in a way that really hit home, where I came across another woman and she was doing nothing wrong, and she told me, I'm sorry. And in that moment, I realized what an epidemic it is that women and girls are always apologizing. I've done a little bit of work around this myself a few years ago because I recognized that I was saying I'm sorry a lot. And what I came to through my own personal work on it is that I honestly was not comfortable with the reality of myself actually taking up space. So my physical space and my presence was somehow an inconvenience to others. So it was a deeply painful realization to come to, and very much tied into my sense of self-worth. So when I hear women and girls over and over and over saying I'm sorry for incidental things, for instance, being in front of the sugar at the supermarket and someone else needs to get to the sugar. So many times this has happened to me where I'll be somewhere, there'll be another woman in a space I want to be in, like grabbing something off the shelf, and I'll say, excuse me, and she almost always says to me, I'm sorry, or I'm so sorry, which perhaps we're conditioned in society to say that sort of thing, but it's so much more common for a female to say that than a male. I could see occasionally a male saying I'm sorry, but I can't imagine it happening most of the time. I could see a man or a guy more often saying something like, oh, well, excuse me, or saying something completely different. But in the I'm sorry, there's an apology there, and I want to know where that comes from. Where did we start to learn that just because we're in a space, or just because whatever circumstance we're in, we're required to say I'm sorry? I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's appropriate. And I think that there's something about it that causes us to make ourselves smaller. And that's messed up. That's not okay. I'm wanting women and girls to start making a commitment to showing up in this life, in your life, in her life, regardless of the circumstances, with no apologies. No apologies for who you are, where you stand, and what space you're taking up at any given moment. Reserve your apologies, your I'm sorries, for those times when you have directly or indirectly caused another person suffering or pain, a moment of unconscious where you're careless or neglectful, And you need to own that, and you need to take responsibility for that. That's when an I'm sorry is useful. That's when it's called for. And when it's called for, give it freely. Give the apology freely. And give it in love. But gosh, stop saying I'm sorry for things that are out of your control, that are not your fault. You'll know the difference.